Yet? Not yet. Yeah, now we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live. I'm here with Mr. Derek Smith again because he's this amazing person that I'm working with at the moment and that I would like to introduce to you on a regular basis as well because it's really amazing all the things he's doing. I've just done his course as well, but I tell you about it later. And yeah, I would like to introduce him to you again if you have not seen anything of what we've done so far. So, Derek, would you like to say hello to people and
Oh,
tell them
yes, I
who you
would,
are?
Christine. Thank you so much for having me once again. I, as you know, love speaking to your community. You have some amazing people behind the scenes, and I always appreciate being able to talk about public speaking with all of these fine folks, specifically a little bit more about virtual event public speaking, like the stuff we're doing here. How does one show up and express their persona with a key set of messages? That's how I help people. And Christine, I'm very pleased to hear that you are engaging more and more with the course. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Yes, so let me tell everyone who's watching or will watch the recording, just tell you briefly what we're talking about. You will find the link in the description anyway to the full course package, but it's really great. It's, I would say, for everyone that wants to get started speaking in a virtual setting or that has already experience with that, but want to take it to a higher level, let's say, with like lots of tips and tricks there to engage the audience, to understand yourself better, to know how you can improve your speaking skills, and all specifically for the virtual setting, which is really great because obviously that's where a lot of things are happening. And I know you have some statistics for that as well. But it's
Mhm.
really great because it's also combined with practice in a practice group. So it's not just an online course, but you get really support by Derek as well. You go to a practice session where you practice like a 5-minute speech that you prepare, which is also part of that course actually. And then you also get like a Q&A session, and you get also another session with Derek, which is wonderful because this will really elevate and your communication skills, your speaking skills on a different level. And it's really great because it's that combination. So not just the learning bit and okay, I've learned something. First of all, you implement it immediately. So you can do one after the other and you implement that and you shape everything that you're doing and improving. And then you practice and you refine it really. So thank you, Derek, for that opportunity for me to do that.
Hey, I must say, Christine, you're making me proud because again, I just watched you engage with the camera like that, and you're clearly learning something. And just to piggyback what you said, the idea behind a lot of the full course package aspects are to kickstart your practice because that's what it's all about. Even right now, to some extent, Christine, you and I are practicing our virtual event speaking. We're doing it right now. So we do
Yes.
these things on a regular basis. So it essentially is, how do you show up when you show up to a room like this? What is your persona when you show up in here? And so, one of the things that a lot of the people that I work with are engaging with these days is exploring a little bit more about their 3D persona. So, we speak a lot about our speaker persona, Christine. You know this because you're taking the course, but thinking about it from a three-dimensional aspect. So, what that means
Hmm.
is a 3D speaker persona is taking three aspects of yourself and then making them part of your persona. Now, a lot of us, some people, maybe they were a lawyer and they went to law school. So that might be one of them. Or maybe they're a doctor. That might be one. So for me, I can give you mine and then you can understand sort of maybe what I'm thinking. And the
Yes.
idea behind all of this persona talk is so that way when you show up, you know how to engage and the types of stuff you might be saying. So for me, I'm a public speaking coach. Boom, that's an easy one for me. Number two is I'm also an event host. So I show up
Hmm.
on live stages, I show up on virtual stages. So generally, a lot of my content is going to be about public speaking and also hosting events. So these are my two dimensions right there. But to add a third dimension, which is kind of the most important aspect of it, is leveraging something that also kind of rounds me out. And what rounds me out is that I'm a gardener. So I do like gardening. I like going out to my garden. I
Hmm.
like watering the garden. I like picking out the weeds. I like, planting stuff. You know how gardening works. But the idea is that now I can leverage when I speak certain analogies that are true to me, and then that way they can roll off my tongue. Now, I won't go into too many examples, but the idea is as I'm speaking about public speaking or as I'm speaking about, event hosting, I can also say, being a public speaker, it's like watering your garden. And then I can start going into analogies related to gardening. So everybody can go like, I think I understand what that guy's saying. So I might even ask you, Christine, do you think you
Yeah.
might know what your 3D speaker persona is right now? What three elements would you might bring to the stage when you step up?
Yeah, I think I would go with hi, I'm Christine. I'm a communication expert, author, and artist.
Ah, now what kind of art would you say that you are when you say you're an artist?
Okay, painter. So yeah, so maybe hi, I'm
Okay.
Christine. I'm a communication expert, author, and painter.
Very nice. Now, that's for this conversation for you to be aware of, and whether or not that's how you engage with your introduction. What I'm encouraging you to do is maybe next time you're speaking about being an author or speaking about being a communication expert, also leverage the idea that when it comes to painting, because we know that's one of your passions, you can say, I like to put a splash of color over here, or I like to change my canvas, or hey, I use different brushes. Essentially, you're going to try to lock into different analogies that you can leverage that are, part of your toolkit. So saying that as a painter, I find myself often having to paint a variety of different canvases and then kind of leverage that kind of talk and those types of
Mm,
conversations while speaking about being a communication expert, while speaking about being an author. And it rounds out your entire persona. So that way you really don't have to overthink too much what you're about and what kinds of things you talk about when you step up on stage. And that, to just conclude all of this, Christine, that's what it's all about, really, is to make it easier for the speaker when they show up, so that way they can just habitually just spit it out and let it flow out
mm.
freely and truthfully, which is very important. Always being able to tell the truth. It just makes things come out a lot easier without people having to over exaggerate or feel like they need to be a certain version of themselves. So I
Mhm.
hope that all made sense to you. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. It's really nice because it makes it a bit more lively as well when you talk. So if you find analogies of things, and then again, if it's something that you're really passionate about and that you really do, then that makes it even easier rather than coming up with something. And it's all about being yourself. Like we learn also in your course, it's getting to know yourself and be yourself in the end, which then makes everything much easier, of course. Because if you
Of
pretend
course.
to be someone, then that doesn't work.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And again, you mentioned the course, and just so that way people know when they hear
Mm.
about this course, the whole point of the course is that it is less than 90 minutes of video content. So you can go through this course relatively quickly. And the idea is it just gives you that structure. So that way you can then show up and start practicing
Yes.
how you do this. And now the full course package, the one that you mentioned earlier, the one thing about that that makes me most excited is that inside of it, is a coaching call with me. So it gives me an opportunity to meet people and then help them specifically hone those messages. So for
Yeah.
me, I get excited about the full course package just because it gives me an opportunity to meet people from around the world. And as you know, Christine, I focus my efforts primarily on non-native English speakers. So people who aren't necessarily as confident speaking English, they speak English
Yes.
perfectly fine. However, when it comes to presenting their business or presenting their passion, they sometimes don't know if they're saying the right thing. So I like to help
Mm.
people with that. So that's why I'm pretty pumped up about the full course package.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone, like I mentioned before, you find the link for that package underneath in the description as well. And make sure, I mean, this is streamed to different channels here, but if you're watching this on LinkedIn, you can click on the name, Mr. Derek Smith, and connect with
Yeah.
him as well to find out more as well, because there's lots and lots of things that Derek is doing. The full course package is one of them, which is a nice entry point because you can
Mhm.
study in your own time and you can work your way through the way you want, and then basically you take that, as we said, to practice and meet Derek actually in a one-to-one session as well, which is lovely. But then there's so many other things that he's doing that you can choose from as well.
And that's actually it. I keep throwing out this word practice. Also, in the full course package, we give you a practice session so you can actually come in and practice what you've learned. And that's also one of
Mm,
the aspects I think that people really enjoy is that, I mean, some people cringe when they hear the word gym or going and working out. Well, if you want to get better at speaking, well, you're going to need to develop that skill a little bit. So going to the gym or coming to practice definitely helps, but don't worry, we do our very best to make it as fun as possible for everybody so they can kind of play within it and not feel as though it's too stringent.
Yes, amazing.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's already very helpful. I mean, every time we go live, every time I talk to you, there's new things that I'm learning, even though I'm going through the course and we've done this now for a while. But this 3D persona is really, really a nice thing, I have to say. And that's
Mhm.
easy to follow for things. So, and the magic number 3 that there's always anyway, and then to connect it all together. Mm,
Well, I like that you say that, and again, that is true. The magic number 3. I think a lot of people might overlook that, and I know some of
yes.
people. How's this? We know almost as humans that the best things in life come in threes. Whether it's the Three Musketeers, it's the Three Amigos. It's I could go on for the threes all day long, but that's really what it is. Is if you're gonna hit us with some kind of point or something that you want to cover, give us three supporting pieces of the puzzle so that way our brains can go, okay, I know they've given me one, they've given me two, I hope they're going to give me three. And then when you do deliver on that third one, our brains kind of click in and they understand, I get that. So the power of three is a very powerful piece.
Yes,
Mhm.
amazing. Now, what else would you like to mention today to and tell the people?
Well, oh, the people, wonderful. Well, it's great. I do love it because I often find that when you and I perform these types of events where we jump on a live call, next thing I know it, I show up and I log into one of my channels, and next thing I know it, I got calls coming in from people. So I'm just want to just say to anybody who's hearing this message right now, don't worry about whether or not you need to commit to the course or you need to commit to the whole package. Just jump on a call with me. Click on the link that Christine has provided. You can book a 15-minute call with me. We can have a call and just chat about sort of what you need or what you think are your limitations when it comes to your speaking. Because remember, I think, Christine, you're pretty aware of this. We all have hot and cold habits when we speak. I mean, I know one of my cold habits. So that's it. Even though I am the expert, I'm also practicing at all times. And one of my cold habits is sometimes I speak too fast. I go and I speak too fast. So I am always doing my best to slow myself down. So the reason I bring this up is that in case you are not familiar yet, or you haven't really explored what your hot and cold habits are, I encourage you to just give a click on the link inside the description, book a 15-minute call with me, and that at the very least could be a way to kickstart just an understanding of what hot and cold habits you might have and that you are even unaware of right
Amazing. Well,
now.
as usual, Derek, thank you so much. Everyone, do that, what he just said. Click on the link, get the course, or book the 15-minute call. You can find that also on the link. And I think that's amazing that Derek really takes that time to get to know the people. And that means you can get to know him and also hopefully through these lives with me, so that you can then see how he can support you in your speaking journey. Thank you very much, Derek. Thanks for everyone for listening, and thanks everyone for watching as well, the recording if you were not live.
As always, thank you so much, Christine. I always love having a good chat with you. So thank you very much for your time. And to everyone out there, I look forward to getting a chance to speak to you. So thanks so much, Christine. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye bye.